Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome as always to the Hull City Hall. Apologies for the slight delay. Appreciate everybody coming in. Obviously Michael from Manchester as well. This is a show that I'm so excited about. So excited to have three really fights that could all be main event fights that mean so much to all the individuals involved in such pivotal fights at this point in their career. This is by far, I believe, the strongest card we've held in Hull. As we stand right now, I think we have about half a dozen tickets left, and this will be a sellout before the start of the doors opening on Saturday night. So as always, thank you so much to the City of Hull for your support. Just to introduce the table, down on our far left, and I think we'll have a round of applause for everybody we introduce. A young man obviously looking to make a big name for himself, hugely popular, Charlie Payton. Down on the far right as well, obviously a young man from Hull looking to do exactly the same, Tom Knight. And same again, another young man, very popular, sold plenty of tickets for this bill, Nathan Smith. I'd like to introduce the former world title challenger, a guy who has been in with a number of top names in a massive fight this weekend. Please welcome from South Africa, Malinga. From Doncaster, the undefeated British super bantamweight champion, McDonald. I think a huge round of applause from a gentleman who I've certainly got plenty of respect for. We saw his Fight of the Year contender recently against Tommy Coyle. Please welcome from Argentina, Brizuela. And another gentleman, again, we'll talk about his resume shortly, but it's an absolute honour to have this guy on one of our shows. He's been a pleasure to deal with, involved in some of the greatest fights seen in boxing, all the way from Australia, Michael Katsidis. And these two gentlemen here, obviously a huge part and reason why we're here, both in massive fights at this point in their careers. From your very own city, two of the brightest stars in British boxing, Tommy Coyle and Luke Campbell. Talk firstly about our first live championship fight, the WBO International Super Bantamweight title. It's a fascinating fight. It's one that I've just stated in an interview. If it all goes okay and Gavin gets the win, I definitely made the fight. And if it doesn't, I definitely didn't make the fight, because it was a fight that was requested by Steffi Ball and the team. And at 11-0 to take on a fighter like Malinga, who we saw in his last fight, have that wonderful fight with Stuart Hall for the IBF Bantamweight title. This is a huge crossroads fight in the career of both men. And I take my hat off to Gavin and the team for having this fight. Vusi, a few words first of all about the fight. Obviously we saw you here in Leeds against Stuart Hall, and this is a big fight for you up at Super Bantam.
I'm very fit about the fight, and I've very loved about the fight. Yeah, we came to win. Yeah. Thanks.
Thank you. And Gavin, obviously this is a huge step up for you. Josh Whale in your last fight was a great fight, but this is, you know, obviously world level now you're operating at.
Yeah. For my last fight, do you know what I mean? It's a massive step up, but one I'm more than confident of doing and ready for. This is why we're in the boxing game. I'm willing to take chances and take risks. So I just hope everybody enjoys the fight on the weekend.
Obviously Stuart Hall, a potential opponent looked at for your brother, two-time world champion McDonald. Did you see that fight against Hall, and what sort of fight are you expecting from Malinga on Saturday?
Yeah, I've watched the fight a lot, do you know what I mean? I give Stewie all the fight of his life, and we all know Stewie's a tough man, because he's obviously been in with my brother, and we just know Vusi's here for 12 rounds, and it's going to be a tough night's work.
Certainly look forward to that. Daniel, welcome back. It was a pleasure to be ringside for your fight with Tommy Coyle earlier this year. Your feelings being back in Hull, and what sort of fight do you expect on Saturday?
Bueno, hola, ¿qué tal? Buenas tardes.
Venido acá de vuelta, ¿no? Y la pelea que tuvimos con Coyle me gustó la pelea, así que bueno, quiero decir que yo peleo para mi país, ¿no? Pero me gusta pelear acá en Inglaterra porque me siento bien, cómodo, los tratan bien y bueno, y a la gente de acá le gustó la pelea, así que estoy muy contento de volver acá a este país a pelear.
Okay, say that he's very thank you to the Matchroom Boxing and all the English people because he, of course, fought fight for our country, but he also fought for the British public because we have been received very good here, and we want to do the best for the weekend.
And what does he know about Luke Campbell, and what sort of fight does he expect against, obviously, after the Tommy Coyle fight?
¿Qué sabes acerca de Luke Campbell después de haber peleado con Tommy Coyle, que espera para esta pelea?
No, bueno, Campbell he visto muchas peleas de Luke Campbell, ¿no? Sé que es un buen boxeador, ¿no? Fue campeón olímpico, por algo es bueno, por algo fue campeón olímpico, ¿no? Es buen boxeador, pero bueno, yo estoy bien preparado todo para hacer una buena pelea. Estoy mejor preparado que la otra pelea pasada, pero bueno, sé que voy a pelear con un boxeador olímpico, ¿no? Que bueno, boxea bien, así que bueno, puede ser que sea una buena pelea.
I have seen a lot of videos of Luke Campbell. I studied something of him. I know that he's an Olympic champion, so that's good to fight against a good boxer. So I will go to do my best for that fight.
Thank you. And Luke, obviously, you've had the apprenticeship, and now for the real acid test. I think we all appreciate this is a step up well beyond the level that you've operated so far.
Yeah, definitely, you know, and it's one I'm most confident of on paper, and you know, only seeing his fight with Tommy Coyle, it's definitely my biggest step up, but it's one that I'm ready for. The people that I've been in with so far, you know, obviously I've showed a bit of a different class to them, so I'm ready to give a better Luke Campbell, and I think Daniel's Brizuela will bring the best out in me.
Without giving your tactics away, what sort of fight are you expecting? Obviously, Daniel showed a lot of different qualities in the fight with Tommy. How do you think he'll approach a fight with you?
It doesn't matter how he approaches the fight with me. I've got to concentrate on me. I've got to prepare the best I can prepare, and you know, whatever he brings, you know, I'll be able to handle come final.
And a huge fight for the IBF international title. Again, a pleasure to welcome Michael to these shores. A guy who, when you look at his resume, is quite phenomenal. You know, likes of Casamayor, Juan Diaz, Juan Manuel Marquez, Robert Guerrero, of course our very own Ricky Burns and Kevin Mitchell. He's been over here for a long time preparing. I remember seeing him at the Scott Quigg weigh-in on April the 18th. He actually didn't know who I was. So cheers for that. But I was shocked to see him here, but it just shows you how seriously he's taking this fight. And Michael, you look in fantastic shape, and I know you're ready for war as always on Saturday.
Yeah, thanks Eddie. First of all, I want to thank my sponsors. Without them this wouldn't be possible. Mannings, BetEasy, Shamrock and Royal Upholstery. Look, I've come right into the Lions Den. I've flown over here from Australia early to team up with Maurice Coyle. Thank you very much, Maurice. It's been a very tough camp, and the whole idea of it was to come straight into the Lions Den, like I said, and we're working right across the road from where Tommy Coyle's been training, and that's why I've done it this way. I love England, I've always said I love fighting here, so I want to make this place my home, and that's why I've teamed up with Maurice Coyle. So look, I've done the work, I'm ready, and it's going to be a good night.
Hull is a very special fight city. You'll see on Saturday around 3,500, but the atmosphere in this arena is fantastic. You boxed all over the world. What sort of fight are you expecting with Tommy? We know generally how you like to fight. How do you see the fight mapping out?
Look, it's going to be a good crowd, and with that crowd you can expect that Tommy's going to rise. You know, you've got to respect him. I expect that he's going to be at his very best. But look, I just love the fight that he had against Daniel Brizuela, brilliant. He just keeps on coming, and look, we're in for war, so the people of Hull are going to really enjoy this one, and that's one thing about fighting over here. People love warriors, and and that we both are, so this is going to be one great night.
Tommy, I know that you also love a war, and I know you'll have your strict instructions from Jamie. I saw a quote from him saying that you give him a heart attack every time you decide to go in and have a war. The biggest fight and the biggest night of your career by some way. I know how excited you were just when I mentioned the name of Michael Katsidis as a possible opponent. A couple of days out, we're nearly there.
Couple of days out, sorry. What can I say? When you put two people in a ring with hearts what are bigger than the head, you're in for a good night. I love a war, I welcome a war, and Michael Katsidis, you know, I've been a big fan of his, sat two seats down the table from him, you know, watched his career from the early days, just, you know, give so much value to all the fight fans around the world, and I'm very, very excited about this fight. Nervous, but I can't wait to get in there and get it on, and I think it's going to be a special night on Saturday.
Obviously you've got your game plan. How important is it not to get carried away with the noise, the excitement, the adrenaline, the moment, and stick to that game plan from Jamie Moore?
Yeah, there's a game plan, but I am what I am. You know, I do what I do. I've done it in all my fights. I'm going out there. I'm gonna give him what. I'm gonna show him who the real warrior is, and I'm just gonna be me, Tommy Coyle, and give the fight fans a hell of a night again.
Thank you, Tom. I think one thing that stands out here, which is so important in the sport of boxing and all sports, is the respect of all these men have with each other. They're all quality people and quality fighters on this table in a really, really tough sport, the toughest sport of all, in my opinion. And although we have great quality here for big titles, the facts remain that of the three standout fights, McDonald, Malinga, Michael Katsidis, Tommy Coyle, Brizuela and Luke Campbell, they all really epitomise what the sport of boxing is all about. They'll give everybody value for money, they'll try till their heart's content, but most of all, and most importantly, they all have immense amounts of quality, which will mean that although these three fights will, in my opinion, go to the well, and you know, these wars that we talk about will evolve, you'll always get respect and discipline from these men, and I think that's what's so wonderful about the sport of boxing. So thank you to Hull as always. It's an absolute pleasure to be back here. Honestly, this is our biggest and best show by far. We can't wait for Saturday. Live and exclusive on Sky Sports 1 from 7:30. It's going to be a special night. The weigh-in on Friday in here at the City Hall. Thanks again for the support, and we can't wait for Saturday. Thank you very much.